Welcome to the Screen Time Continuum. My name is Keelan, and I'm here as always with my co-hosts Nick and Dejan. How you doing, fellas?
Hey, happy Sunday
Happy
evening.
Sunday.
Sunday fun day.
Better than a Monday.
Don't remind me
which,
about
which,
tomorrow.
which day is the seventh, or which day is the first? How does that work out?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Depends on which religion you are, I guess.
I'm gonna tell you the 7th was Wednesday because that was payday for me. So,
Yeah.
There you go. That was the end and beginning of your week.
hmm
and I'm ready for the next payday, which is 22nd for me, which is next week.
Silly. So, how are you doing today, though? On a non-payday.
Doing all right. I'm doing very much all right. Cramming some stuff in, but I'm good. Happy to be here.
Always good, always good. Well, welcome to the Screen Time today, guys. Today's show will be about the movie Reminiscence. Reminiscence? Does anybody have any alternative
Rem-
ways of saying this? Reminiscence? Reminiscence?
Reminiscence.
Reminiscence. Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I suck at my speech at times and pronunciation, and most people I've come across has been like lost on how to say this.
Yeah,
Oh,
I had no grasp.
trust me, spelling it isn't much easier. So, yeah.
That is for sure. I mean, I heard him say it through the movie, but it wasn't giving me any assurance, honestly.
Mhm.
But again, guys, this is the movie Reminiscence, excuse me, the movie Reminiscence, which is a 2021 movie, PG-13. It's currently on HBO Max, but also in select theaters. It is by the co-creator of Westworld, Lisa Joy, and starring Hugh Jackman, Rebecca Ferguson, and Thandie Newton. I want to comment that Thandie Newton recently changed the spelling of her name to have a W-E at the end, so it's Thandiwe, which she revealed to be the original spelling of her name. And I am interested if that changes the pronunciation from what
Yeah,
we
it's
have currently.
Tandiwi.
That's what I was thinking as well, right?
Yeah.
Because at this point, we have to send its original pronunciation if it's the original spelling. So there we go. Something I thought was just from this movie to Westworld. She's in Westworld, and it hasn't changed over there yet, but it's changed here for reminiscence. And I'm just wondering, how does that work as far as credits? Like, does she now have multiple aliases, multiple stage names? I'm curious
It
about that.
probably
Just
works
throw
the
some
same
questions.
way as Elliot Page, right?
Ah, I guess so. I never thought
Yeah.
about it that way. Yeah, that's the easy answer.
It's like
All
it's
right.
like, what reason are you really doing this for?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, also just like Elliot Page in Inception is Ellen Page. So
Right.
there you go.
Huh.
Elliot Page in the Umbrella Academy was Ellen Page for season 1, but is now Elliot Page for season
I
2.
was gonna ask, are there any credits that has him down as Elliot Page? But there's my answer.
Umbrella Academy for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, also this movie is. Oh, sorry, Dijon, you were gonna say.
Fuck that TV show. That's all I gotta say.
There you go.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, this movie is also scored by Ramin Ramin Djawadi, who scores the Eternals movie, scored the Long Night episode of um, Game of Thrones, and a couple of other things. The Turtle spinoff movie, the Finding Nemo. Uh, I want to say Blade. A lot of movies over time, but the scores have come in, and recently the ones that were notable to me was the Long Night from Game of Thrones and the Eternals movie, which hasn't even come out yet, but major notable scores for the same guy that scored this movie. I actually, for whatever reason, I wanted to know that because there were a couple of moments where the background music in the that was riding along was just like, wow, that was better than the acting on the screen. Hold on, rewind that. Let me hear that again. Um, so yeah, worth noting to me. So from the beginning, guys, let's get some initial thoughts, initial reactions. How did you guys feel about this movie? What did you think?
You can go first, John, if you want.
I'm just gonna lean back and let Hugh Jackman talk for me. There you go. There you go, Hugh. That was me 20 minutes after the movie.
Yeah.
For me, the movie started off pretty good for like the first 20 minutes. Then it just got to a point where I was just like, all right. It was a bit, I don't know. I was really hyped to see this movie. It was just one of those things. I'm like, damn, I love me some Hugh Jackman, even though I still haven't seen The Last Showman. And I'm just like, I'm ready for this. This looks dope. Movie had a great concept. I think it was just, it could have did more with the concept. It was a little bit it was a bit lackluster for me. I was a bit anxious watching it for a while. I had to take a break. Let's see what else. And I just felt like they forced a whole noir, detective type theme too much in this movie. And I think the chemistry for a lot of actors and actresses was just like meh. And I think that they needed Hugh Jackman just to sell this movie. And honestly, I read a lot of reviews and seen a lot of stuff afterward. I was just saying, like, is it just me? And a lot of people shared the same thoughts. So I'm very mixed about this movie. I really want to like it, but I'm just like, it was okay.
I understand that.
Yeah, I probably would say the same thing. I like the idea, but even the idea itself isn't that good because it's not actually utilized that much. So it's like, I like the ambiance of a sunken Miami. That was kind of cool, but Hugh Jackman phoned this one in. Like, you want to look at him and things like Les Miserables or Logan, and then this, and it's like, that's not the same dude. And if you're gonna have a femme fatale who is a lounge singer, could you cast one that could sing? That would be nice, because I honestly, that's when the movie, I was like, okay, well, the movie lost me when he went through her memories, and then we literally saw her sing in the memories, and I thought to myself, oh, are we gonna hear the whole song? Oh, we're gonna hear the whole song. And then it was 2 minutes of her terrible singing through those memories while Hugh Jackman just stared and ogled her, and I was like,
Yeah, that's where I was bugged after that, because I just felt like dude just went straight up creepo, like no confidentiality to this shit. He's just like, I'm coming to your job, girl.
I definitely thought there should have been some type of I wouldn't say doctor patient, but some type of confidentiality. I totally agree with what both of you guys are saying. With, I guess, what everybody else is saying, there was just some parts that were like, huh? But then there were other parts that you were just rooting for it to take over the whole aspect of what was going on. And like, all right, if this could dominate damn it, you stopped. Okay, here you go. On to the next thing. Is this one gonna work? Is this one gonna?
And to piggyback off of Dijon, the noir thing was so heavy-handed that it felt almost like it felt like satire a little bit. Like it kind of felt like it was making a joke of noir, because it's like, dude, I don't know. Noir is such a difficult thing to actually do properly, and I don't think that we can. I think it's one of those things that can't be recreated in a lot of respects. At least that, like, hard-nosed detective who's narrating the whole story noir. Like, I just don't know if we can do that anymore. That seems like a relic of a bygone age.
I think we can if we stop trying to play the lover's angle on it.
Yes,
and a big downfall of it, honestly.
That's true.
And it was one thing that me and my wife agreed on, because she stopped. She just literally stopped watching it in the middle of it, and just like, I'm gonna go in the room and go watch me some, like, Criminal Minds or some shit. And I was sitting there with my bowl of ice cream, and I was like, you know what? I was like, the last thing I seen that really captured that whole noir essence of shit was that one episode in Love, Death, and Robots with that whole
Mhm.
futuristic thing about
Yeah.
not aging if you take that drug. And I was like, and we both agreed. I was like, that was the last time I seen it done uniquely and really good.
Mhm. That's fair. Yeah. And I think you're right, Keelan. Eliminating that romance element probably would have been good as well. Because that, to me, I kept saying throughout the movie, why are you looking for her?
Yeah.
Why are you looking for her? There's
This
no
movie
reason
could've-
you need to be.
Right now, this
And-
movie could have ended in about 2 or 3 different spots before it actually ended.
And it was too long. It's too long for that,
Yeah.
for my taste. And that, I'm like, you had a better chemistry with hooking up with homegirl that was the whore in Westworld.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He had a better
I think
chemistry
at
with
the-
Candy, for sure.
Yeah, I think at the end that was kind of the entire pull of the grandchild telling her that she missed him, and him before when he turns himself in, so to speak, going to her to make sure that she knew everything, and they'd have to subpoena her, blah blah blah.
What did she
I
turn?
think-
What did he turn himself in for?
I don't even think he did. I think he burnt himself at the end and stayed stuck in the memories.
That was supposed to be part of the agreement. That
What agreement?
his right. So apparently he murdered the dirty cop by burning.
No,
him.
the dirty cop still lived. We saw him at the end being taken out by a gurney talking to everybody. He was
Well,
I
like,
think he was I think he was fucked up in the head when he took him
He's also
away.
stuck in his head now, stuck in that memory.
Okay.
And that's supposed to be worse than actually murdering somebody. So he was supposed to get like this terrible sentence, and because he didn't get the terrible sentence, the agreement was he would burn himself into this routine of memories, and that's what happened. That's the whole ploy pushed. Oh, trust me,
Fucking paradise for him.
That was a part of the slope for me. One of those other like, wow, we didn't need this.
It was a slippery slope, huh?
Oh no,
Can
it
you
wasn't slippery.
Can you explain to me what a slippery slope is?
Slippery slope is when you let one thing go, and then because of that, you let another thing go, and then you end up with this fucking. And then, no, but like honestly, you're right. This movie kind of was a slippery slope of like, oh, okay, there's a good concept. You pretty much got that nailed. Damn, that was short. Oh wait, there's another concept. We're still going. Okay, got you.
The only thing that I think is good and positive is the set pieces of Flooded Miami. But if you think about it any further than ooh cool, then you realize why the hell would anybody live in a flooded Miami?
Man,
it's like in a post-apocalyptic world. That part,
But it's still connected to the rest of America, guys. Just move inland a little bit.
If they had just brung up some type of an apocalypse, I would have been like, okay, it makes sense.
Then you think about it, when he goes to New Orleans is like all fucking peachy clean.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
What's going on here?
Or like, is the rest of the continent destroyed, and this is all that's left?
No, because he went to New York. He went to New Orleans, and it was fine. So I'm assuming on a train. Yeah. Huh?
Remember, England is supposed to have sunk, and she came to Miami from England, then from Miami to New Orleans, and then from New Orleans, from Miami to New Orleans, whatever. I think it was England to New Orleans, and then New Orleans to.
Well, if Miami isn't totally underwater, there should be no reason that Georgia and Tennessee and South Carolina are underwater.
You're destroying the storyline.
Okay.
It was a water world.
I'm with you on that.
It was water world.
It was the prequel to Water World.
Like this was technically. This just in. Technically, this was the prequel to Westworld. Technically.
I don't think you can do Westworld like that. I think that's disrespectful.
I'm not doing Westworld like anything. This was written first.
And it should have stayed on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, like this was written first. That's all I'm saying. So some of the concepts that maybe seem relative were created in this and then moved over to that. And I think I'm with you. I think sometimes you have to just leave things where they lie. There's a lot of movies that, in my opinion, are like that. Some are considered cult classics, and they're still dumbass movies. It is what it is.
Well, you got to talk about Clockwork Orange like that, man.
Dirty Dancing?
Never seen
Dancing's
it.
dumb too.
Never seen it. I mean, I don't want to mean to sound sexist, but a lot of women I know, like, yeah, it's great. It's great. I'm like,
I
just like a lot of women tell me to.
Great dumb movie.
That and Moulin Rouge, I've
It's
never seen.
It's an entirely enjoyable movie. That's what they should say. They shouldn't say it's great.
That's
it's
another
enjoyable.
dumb movie.
That's another dumb movie.
Moulin Rouge, yeah.
I think a lot of times enjoyable movies and great movies are confused. Like that, they are not the same.
Like the Green Lantern film.
A totally terrible movie.
That's true. You can like Super Mario
Eraser.
Brothers.
Yeah, or like Eraser. The fight scene on the plane of Eraser.
There you go. You know what?
That was fun.
The little
snakes on a plane. Oh,
no, don't bring the little things.
No.
Sorry.
I slightly like this better than the little things.
Me too.
Oh, definitely. Listen.
Just
if there's one thing I can say, the little things has to be one of the biggest upsets of recent movie watching time.
Paper Tigers would like a word.
No. I said upset. That was just a bad movie.
Oh, that's okay.
There was no anticipation for Paper Tigers, but the little things you saw that lineup, and you thought to yourself, your brain was like, "This shit's gonna be nice."
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was promising.
So back to the idiocy of this movie, but first off, this movie is still enjoyable. I did still like it, but again, half baked. This could have been just a series of shows. This could have been a 3-part series on an app somewhere, HBO. Hell,
you are very generous.
No, I think if you put this down as a series of 3-part series or something like that, 4-part series, you have more time to flesh out some of the ideas.
Are you saying that? I think you're saying that maybe the concept could be a 3-part series, but this actual story, I don't think so.
Yeah, not the actual.
I don't
story,
want to see this for
if you were to
three
take
episodes.
This framework.
Yeah, like an idea of having somebody that's like a forensic person in memory is cool.
Right.
The idea of a sunken Miami is cool.
Yeah, it wouldn't just, even if this story was involved in it, you would have to tell a lot more within those 4 hours versus the less than 2 hours we got with, again, a couple of half-baked moments. For instance, we're not going back in time, but we are looking back through memories. I don't care how he explained it. That it doesn't make sense. How do you see yourself in your memories?
I don't know. He did that thing with the girl where he was like, "Remember your first kiss."
Like
and then,
you fucking pervert. I'm like, what the hell? Just sitting there like, bro, chill that shit down. What the fuck?
Way too fast. Ooh. You're just returning her earrings. Good Lord.
Dude, me and my wife were just sitting there like, yeah, like, dude, you got problems. It wasn't even. I'm sorry.
No, now you got problems. She got problems.
Well, and then she
both had problems.
But then the thing is like he thought she was a grifter this entire time, and so he was obsessed about it. But then they copped out of that whole thing by making her a hero at the end. It's like, dude, are you serious? Come on. Like she saved the little boy. Like, come on, dude.
The sweet joy of lust.
Hugh, you hear that shit? Were you looking like that when you read that script? You owe somebody a favor, huh?
He's rethinking his life choices right now.
He's like, fuck, I think I got to come back as Wolverine after that.
Yeah.
Can we also note the big fish pull that they did here as far as the whole memory grifting thing?
Oh, I'm interested. You said the big fish grift.
Yeah.
I'm interested. What do you got from there?
So, or wait, was that big fish? I think that was big fish, wasn't it? Where they were going into the brain to delete certain memories. No, that wasn't Big Fish.
That's Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine, Spotless Mind. Okay, I knew it was one of our top movies. The Eternal Sunshine. They took that entire concept right there of in the room and you're looking for certain memories and you have to isolate them, and they just used it as far as reliving the memories and playing them out, which is kind of also out of Black Mirror. Being able to play your memories back, like all kind of was right there in that.
Yeah, but I think one of you guys said it earlier. There's so many things that this movie is trying to be, but it does none of them 100%. It's trying to be a noir. It's trying to be a romance movie. It's trying to be an action thriller. It's trying to be sci-fi. It's trying to be, post-apocalyptic. There's way too many things that it's trying to be, and it does none of them well, in my perspective. Yeah,
I tell you, after watching this, I mean, I used to love noir shit. I'm like, you know what? I don't think I have too much care for that theme anymore.
Might have killed it for me too. Yeah.
Just go watch Sin City. You'll get it back.
Yeah, I mean, even Sin City is kind of cringe, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, it's good, but it's appropriate for that movie.
Right.
But I don't know. That hard nut sort of detective narration thing is, I don't know.
You say that, and I think of the orange dude getting splattered all over the barn.
Bruce, I can smell you. Poor Jessica Alba.
In this movie, Reminiscence. Jeez. This movie is written again by Lisa Joy. Apparently, the concept, before I really get into what this movie is, the basis for this, I don't know if you guys caught this when in the article I sent, but Lisa Joy had gotten the concept of this from her grandfather, who would always say the words Suki Lin, and she never knew what that was about until after he passed away, and found out in his
attic. Mistress.
You can't prove it. She cannot, or no one has ever revealed it to be a mistress. But apparently, Suki Lin was an actual person, and they used to think he just liked to say the words because he liked what they sound like. I thought that was some real goofy shit.
No, he was looking for his mistress, man. Come on.
I figure, I'm like, okay, so over time he started missing this lady or whatever, and he was losing his mind, and he couldn't hold the secret no more, but he also couldn't tell the secret. But I thought that was crazy. So then to go into this movie, Reminiscence, that is about Nick Bannister, who is an investigator that helps people go back into their enjoyable memories and or just go through memories with the police and whatnot so that they can solve crimes and find people. I thought it seemed like a psychedelic trip type of a deal to me.
It could have been in so many ways. It could have been visually. It could have been something fantastic, to tell you the truth, especially if they put some decent music with it. I was slightly getting I think one of the best scenes for me that I actually enjoyed, what I had fun with, was when he went to New Orleans and that whole bar scene, and I'm about to hear some like Tainted Love. I was like, oh, okay. So let's pick some shit up.
But did you also notice how mixed down that song was? It was it was so mixed down, and the action was so noisy you could barely hear it. It was very strange.
Tenet.
That's how you.
Yeah.
Tenet was the other way around. Yeah.
Something about this Nolan family that doesn't like to have things that are hearable.
Or they just don't know how to hire a mixer.
Yeah,
dude, and just I was like, oh, there goes Wolverine again. He's like, where is she? I'm like, you taking some,
man. Yeah, way too many across the eye only light shots and snarling growls.
You know what I wanted to do for
he
you
even
guys?
tried to bite somebody at one point.
I was so tempted on taking a picture of him several times in this film. He was literally like rocking the Wolverine look with the white beater. I was like, Logan.
Mm-hmm. They were trying to bank on that.
But yeah, I think they were definitely trying to profit off of that.
I just honestly I couldn't see the fixation for him to continue to look for this girl that basically grifted him.
Interesting enough.
He seems like the sucker type. Just let's call it what it is.
Yes, but good Lord, it just felt so forced to me. I'm like, you went all the way out of your way to go find this chick.
Because she broke his heart. And you find out that she's left a trail of broken hearts, and her job, like I think that's her thing. Like she is a femme fatale type. Like once you slept with her, your soul is hers, like a harpy or a succubus.
Her.
I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, I get it. I'm
about to say this right.
They wrote it right now.
Who's this? The writer was a chick. I don't want to be too sexist on this.
Which one?
I'm just gonna. I forget her name. Lisa something.
Lisa Joy.
No, that's the director.
No,
she did all of it. She did
all of it.
Yeah.
She was improvising. Oh shit! This is a feminist movie.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit!
It took me a while.
It's just like this shit is written with fucking. I'm like, yeah, she had to make her the hero at the end in some
Yes.
form.
She couldn't be a bad guy, even though the entire movie was telling you that she fucked Hugh Jackman over. And then at the end, you find out that, Hugh Jackman was just wrong the entire time.
Bro, I'm about to say, right. I was just about to say, Hugh Jackman turns out to just be a dickhead. And Watts ends up, Bannister ends up being a dickhead. And Watts is no longer a drunk. And she's hanging out with her granddaughter. So you know she's good with her daughter.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Watts had to be the one that saved Nick. Yeah. In the whole New Orleans scene, like he wasn't able to fight anybody by himself.
Like even though you had the same military training.
Yeah, they have the same military training. They were partners. Yeah.
And not saying that all of those things have to be evident for it to be a feminist movie, but girl power.
But when you refuse to allow the female to be the bad guy, that's when you know that there's something political going on.
She was the fucking bad guy, bro.
Yes. She set in to fuck him over and then only caught feelings at the end.
I for sure was like, yo, this is one of the realest movies ever. Because I was like, if she don't catch feelings, this is gonna be so honest. It's just gonna be so real. Like she just
It's just a dude that got ghosted by a chick and he can't get over it.
Yeah, I would have loved that. But once she saved the kid instead, and I was like, wait, what part of this movie says she had a conscience?
None of it. Yeah.
That was when I wasn't sure if I liked this movie anymore.
Yeah. Well, the telltale sign is when you can't have a woman be villainous because they're not allowed to be portrayed negatively. Please. So it's like
I really enjoyed her as the bad guy.
I liked it. I thought it would have been fine if she just finessed him and like screwed him over, and then that was the whole thing.
Because at first they had sold me on her being an addict, and then it was like she's not even an addict, yo. Like she is just out here shattering folks. Mm-hmm. Like even the dude, she got to do what he wanted, and then got him strung out on his fix. And dipped out on him like, yo, she is crazy. Like she was amazing. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
P.O.P. That's what they should have called this movie.
Oh boy,
Power of Pussy, starring Hugh Jackman.
Oh Jesus. So I just think it's so disingenuous when you're like you set the person up to be the villain the whole time and then you just pull the rug underneath from underneath it without any satisfying catharsis about it, because then homeboy just simps for her for eternity. This guy lives in his memories for eternity.
Well, they even somewhat tried to take her power and give it to Officer Booth. You know, the whole, he was pulling her strings.
He was, that's right. That's right. Yeah, he was the real one that was evil.
Yeah,
right.
That makes sense. Like, for what?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because he worked for
Sylvan.
He worked for Saint whatever his name was.
He worked for Joe, and then he worked for Sylvan.
Right, exactly. But why does that connect?
Yeah, Joe doesn't connect. Joe is how everybody.
Joe doesn't connect to Sylvan. So how does Booth? How does Booth go to Sylvan?
Right.
I think he just wanted to finish the job.
What was the job? Killing the girl?
Booth goes to Sylvan for more money. I think just as a better job. And
then he gets the job to kill the woman that he was cheating.
Yes, and by doing that, he has to get the memories to tie up the loose ends from him.
Right, so but there's nothing to indicate that the Booth guy would have known Sylvan prior to his relationship with Joe, because he was a henchman for Joe.
Correct.
Right. So they just said, oh, now he's a henchman for this other guy that will justify why Elsa was being such a, manipulative person this whole time.
Yeah, they couldn't hire henchman number 2.
No, yeah, exactly. No, because when you got the dude from Training Day, you just use him twice. That dude gets cast as so many like Hispanic dudes. I think he's from like Algeria or something.
Oh wow,
yeah, he's or the Middle East, somewhere around there.
So after we meet Baron Sylvan and Nick is asked to take old girl home and they have sex, this is when I start thinking that we're inside one of his memories, and this is right
I
before
fast
we
forwarded.
discover. Oh,
I fast forwarded.
that's funny.
Word to the wise: just take the sex scenes out. Honestly, I don't need to have sex scenes in my movies.
Yeah.
It's so cringeworthy. It's so awkward. Feeling like I feel like my parents manifest right next to me, and anytime a sex scene comes on TV, so it's
That
like,
is hilarious.
please just take it out. Just take it out.
So that's hilarious. What's funny to me is when they were having sex, I actually caught something in the middle of that scene, which was they knocked a glass. That's funny. I saw that face. Look, it's my camera that's not working right now. I noticed that a glass had fell or got knocking over and broken. Then there was a glass on the counter unbroken, and then there was water running off the counter as if the glass had broken on top of the counter and not down there. And it was weird. It was just like a glitch of some sort, right? And that was when I immediately started thinking, shoot, we're in one of his memories. Like, he's a memory junkie. He's the guy. He's one of the people he's been warning us about. And then,
well, he throws it out there at the very beginning with that quote.
Which is that?
Oh shit, I don't remember that quote.
Something about memories.
Something about men and memories is just like something addictive or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. From there, if I'm being honest, I almost started to feel like we were watching a junkie flick, and then it kind of turned into a junkie flick for a minute.
Yeah. It was foreshadowed for sure.
Yeah. And then it, again, like Nick said, it turned into a hero flick, which was weird. And I appreciated the Booth character for, like, oh, you think you're a hero. You're no hero. Like, where do you think you are? You're in a fantasy world. There's no heroes in this. Everybody's screwed. She's the one who screwed us.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Any standout moments, standout things from the movie that you guys want to bring up, notice?
I do think that the only clever thing that they did was Elsa's message to Nick at the end, even though that makes no sense at all.
Makes no sense at all, but it was very
it 100% assumes that Nick is going to come across Booth at some point and extract his memories. Which means that she thinks that he's going to be looking for her, even though she ghosted him.
She knows her man is Logan. He just retired from the X-Men. He's coming.
So I did think that was like a clever moment, but it was, what is it? What's the saying? Too clever by half or something like that. Where it's just like, like you did try to do something clever, but everything else, it's just like it just stands out as like, okay, well, you thought about that one spot, but you didn't think about the rest of the movie.
Right. Well, something else I feel like they overthought was I don't think it was only during one fight scene too, where they're having the knife scene and the hammer and they're going back and forth, which was lame.
Yes.
It was so choreographed.
And then slowly walking away from each other.
Right. Here, I'm going to walk 3 steps back, and then you're going to block, swing. Okay, you're going to fall. All right, turn and back. Anyway, there were nice sound effects. Sing, 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 sing.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, are they joking right now?
Well, Homeboy did have a knife, I think, right? Booth did have a knife. Yeah,
like a 6-inch pocket knife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the idea that that Nick was literally trying to murder Booth, and then as soon as he starts to sink to the bottom of that place, he's like, nah, let me go maybe I should go get it.
And that's
because he wanted his memories.
I think that might have been the first time I thought the movie was over, right there. Like, oh man, we end with him dying. That's cold.
I would have been okay with that.
It'd be crazy if this is how they doing stuff like out here.
Right.
And then that didn't happen. That's not where it ended. And I was like,
See, and that's one of those things you really don't have to worry. You just have to worry if you just see her upon herself doing something. Now, if you seeing the creators of Westworld, then you got something going on that's worthwhile. It's just one of those things where I think her as a creator, she needs certain people on her team to bounce those ideas off of. And
Well,
you
and
know
then she
what?
just decided to write, direct, and produce this entire thing by herself.
Because
That's
she's
one of
got
the
money in the pool now.
Yeah, but that's what
that's
you get when you don't involve other people's ideas.
and to tell you the truth, that is sincerely true. Because in the comic book industry, oh boy, when you get a creator that does both art and their storyboard, it usually comes out very nasty.
Mm.
I have not really met anybody that sincerely has done both. And if they did, it is a rare instances. It's
Yeah.
like winning a lotto. And I think this is the same for many arts.
What good movies I don't know if I can name one, but do you guys know of a movie that was written and directed by the same person that was like excellent? I don't know.
Role playing.
Soul Plane? Soul Plane?
I mean, yeah, kind of, but not really. In the term of
I
like
can't think of it.
film, no, but in the term of comedy, yes. A lot of stand-up comedies.
You know what?
Well, yeah,
I
that's a
can
little bit different.
I can see that because first thing that comes to mind, like I said, it's a rare instance. I would probably say like Tropic Thunder.
Oh, is that a Ben? That's Ben Stiller, right?
Yeah, he directed
Yeah.
it. That was his thing.
Yeah, that's another Yeah, I see. I guess so. I guess comedy movies do it a lot more.
I see comedy people can do it best.
do it.
I mean, for a comedy, you can do it best. Because I know about Soul Train. Let's see, Soul Train.
Soul Plane. Say Soul Train,
Soul-
Soul Plane, Animal House, Airplane,
Yeah.
all of those.
But anything as a drama or something like that, I think it's a little bit more complex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, but never mind. I was about to be funny again. I'm gonna leave it.
Do it.
I was gonna say,
We-
was enough written by Jennifer Lopez and directed by Jennifer Lopez? And did not. That was out of pocket.
What? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Enough, the movie. I don't know if she did any of that. I don't know. She might have executive
No.
produced it. Yeah, funny. That's my point.
Let me think.
I'm looking through movies right now, and things like Annie Hall, which is Woody Allen. I guess that makes sense.
What about The Town or Argo?
He's canceled.
From whatever that dude name.
Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Ben
That
Affleck.
could be. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
if
can
he
see
wrote
that.
those though. I know he directed them.
Because I think Argo. Well, no, Argo was based off of real events, so I'm not going to give him that.
Or you could
Mark
do like
Wahlberg don't even
Mel
direct
Brooks.
all his movies.
Yeah,
maybe
Mel
a
Brooks
movie.
does. Yeah.
It's a rare
Like
instance,
Robin
that's
Hood
for sure.
and Fights.
Yeah, Robin. Oh, well, it says specifically what Mel Brooks movie was that? It was Spaceballs.
Oh wow, I love that. Movie.
Spaceballs was him.
Pause.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say this like many movies. I've never seen Spaceballs.
What? You have to go
It's
watch
pretty funny.
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
You know what?
This is my outlet. This is my outlet for watching certain TV shows and movies as much as my streaming is an outlet to actually finish video games.
There you go. That works. All right. Before we got sidetracked by
Spaceballs.
movies that were, Spaceballs. Yeah, I think that this movie suffers from a lack of input from other people, and wanting to do too many things at once. You know, I think that this wanted to do so many things at once that it just didn't. It didn't execute any of it like enough for it to be satisfying. You know, so like it was a noir for a little while, and then it just stopped being, and then at the end they re-narrated it like it was supposed to be a noir this whole time. But it's like, okay,
The dialogue was catchy at the beginning.
at the beginning, but then it fell apart. Like once that Saint Joe guy was using like Chinese words as slang, like we should know what the hell he's
with
talking
super
about. I
proper
was
English.
like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, so why is this dude like? I don't know. Why is he some crime lord that uses Chinese slang that like
He
you
was
would
supposed to be in
assume?
Paper Tigers.
Right, I guess. But then he had like he kind of had a Cajun accent too, which I didn't hate. But it was like, what's going on? You won't give us any background as to why Chinese slang is now a thing in this world where like people are just using it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Why would everybody else know exactly what he's saying?
Yeah. You wouldn't.
Well, and I think we should have got maybe even a little more on his thing with May, because we saw what it did to Brooke, and I don't think we really saw a change in what it did to him to him it almost like it was nothing, but at the same time it seemed like with John or Joe, what was his name?
Joe. Saint Joe?
Saint Joe, yeah.
Yeah.
It almost seems like with him is when she became who she was, so to speak.
Yeah, but he was so ballin', he didn't even give a shit about her anymore.
Right, like,
He
it
just
didn't even
basically
matter
like,
to him.
and I thought the movie was going to end there to be like, okay, well, that was it. Because like, you know, he goes to Joe and Joe's like, yeah, I don't care about her anymore. I know she stole my shit. I don't care. Bye. You know, like,
Right. Yeah, and that was pretty much it. So I didn't really, I'm kind of not really understanding who May was still.
yeah. She was a down on her luck girl that got thrust into situations that were never her fault, and then redeemed herself at the very last second after somebody was already murdered right in front of her.
And what pissed me off, all those situations are her fault. She didn't have to get involved with a crime lord. She escaped that life. And she still got herself involved with some bullshit. So I'm like,
she said she needed the monies. She needed the monies.
Felt like I was watching Wonder Woman all over again.
There were moments, yeah.
Motherfucker.
There were moments.
And you know what fell flat for me too was the whole like, oh, we finessed Nick this entire time by learning things about him so that we could steal his vault because we knew that some obscure lady had a memory there. You know, like what?
I don't think anybody was ever gonna come back for that, man.
Yeah. And how do you know that memory's in his vault?
She stole something from me. You weren't looking.
You weren't looking.
You're fired.
I thought he was gonna find out that's his kid.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Right.
But no. Yeah.
Pretty sure that Watt's kid is his kid. That's what I heard.
It is. That's why the younger brother has, you know, he says he has a half brother. And that whole thing was shoehorned in too. That younger brother with the mom thing. It was like they were trying to do something meaningful with that. And it was just like, you guys spent zero time on those characters. And then at the end told me that it was all because of them. You know, like, what? Because it was literally all because of them. Because the kid coordinated the murder of I'm just going to call her Clementine because that's what she is in Westworld. Coordinated the murder of Clementine so that he could have the entire inheritance.
Yeah.
Which is the only reason that Nick started bugging out about Elsa again. So it's all that kid's fault.
It's all that kid. Gosh darn kid.
Honestly, I feel like she wrote herself into a corner. Hell of a ton.
But then Keelan was saying that this was. Yeah, that's right. Keelan was saying that this was written way before Westworld. So you've been sitting on this for nearly 10 years.
She's like, I got the paycheck. Fuck it, let's do it.
So why not? Right. And that's my only comment on sometimes with the older scripts. I don't care. Once a script is 3-4 years old, we've changed interest. Everybody, like, where the industry is headed is different. Revisit the scripts. Like, that's you could tell it's not even difficult to figure out.
It's not, and I'm gonna say this from my own personal experience. I've been sitting on a story for like 12 years, and time I go back and I add something to it, but at the same time I have to jot down some of them little footnotes before I really insert it because I got to go back and reread a bunch of chapters and shit beforehand. And you know what? When I reread that stuff, I sit there and I'm like, oh, what the fuck did I write? And then I'm like, well, let me get someone else I can bounce these ideas off of to see if I'm, being contradicting, convoluted, et cetera, et cetera. And usually I don't think these people do it. They get that lump sum of money. They get that funding. They pitch that idea and it's sold. And they're just sitting there like,
waiting on the
residuals. Yeah, and it's interesting. Something I found out. First time I came across and I met Seth Rogen. I met him in a GameStop. And this dude was buying scripts off this other dude that was literally writing scripts. And he was just at fucking GameStop for fun. He was like, I'm bored. my wife's just getting tired of me being home, and he was just bored. And I didn't get it. And I was like, I thought this dude was literally bullshitting. And I was going into his GameStop throughout the week. It was like a Thanksgiving week. And here it is. I thought this guy was legitimately just bullshitting, lying. Because I've seen so many of these people come in and claim they're writers, producers, whatever. And I see Seth Rogen with his laugh, et cetera, and he's like, you got my package? The dude was buying scripts off. Seth Rogen was literally buying scripts off this dude. I was like, wow.
Why not?
And he was like, come over to my place so we can go talk and blah, 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 and go over this. So more to sum this whole story up, even though he's buying these scripts, he wanted to, go into these scripts and know what he has to change or what he can make for the time that it needs to be. God knows how long this dude was sitting on these things before he sold them.
Yeah, I mean, I think with guys like him, because he's a writer, he knows how long you're sitting with stuff. Like some of these people have written stuff when they were 13 and 14 that's actually worthy to go on. It can be pushed, but it won't be because nobody believes in the work that they're doing for themselves. They believe in the work that they've done for other people. And that's really what I think it comes down to. You got to work with a few notable people, and then you'll get that opportunity. Mm-hmm. And some people to get that opportunity and they shit it out, and then some people get that opportunity and they just take that shit to the next level.
And it's true. And these is just one of those things where I've caught myself replaying. For instance, back on my stream, I replayed this game called Shadow of the Dam, and I used to glorify this video game developer. And you know what? I come to this conclusion. I only liked one of his franchises where it sets well for me. I can go back. It still adds up. How would you say? Not add up, but it still holds up. And I'm realizing I'm like, you can be a fan of something, but because this and that person is co-creator or writer or something, they necessarily don't got the magic every time a project starts.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right.
So I for this, and they're probably drawing in a lot of people like, oh, we're just going to throw in. This is the co-creator of Westworld.
Yep.
And I can imagine so many Westworld fans come in like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Right. Well, I mean, when you had some reconsiderations as to how this was going to be promoted, I'm sure you're going to put a lot of your stake in the name stake that you've created to this point, which is Emmy Award winning. So it is what it is.
That too, yeah. That's what I said. I think Hugh Jackman sold the movie for whatever it sold.
Oh yeah, and yeah. I look, people who we saw The Greatest Showman, they also tuned into this one just to see Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Ferguson work together again. So it is what it is.
Okay, so this is not the first time. I haven't seen The Greatest Showman yet.
No. Yeah, no, this isn't their first time working together. Good, decent movie. I can't really say it knocked my socks off or anything.
Hold on. So my question is, then where the hell was the chemistry? If they had some chemistry in that last movie, what happened here?
I mean,
I would assume. I guess it's just the writing then.
Yeah, I think it was there, but when you have the whole noir style, there's not a lot of emotion in that. You gotta remember everything within that is kind of like this stale dead, or it's supposed to come off as the stale deadpan kind of. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that line. What is that movie called? What, the horse, the little pony, and the little girl.
Oh God! Oh yeah, we can't.
Gone with the Wind. There we go. Oh, I'll never watch that movie again. That's just too long. It's a cool movie. I mean, I enjoyed it for what I worth back in film class, but that movie took us about almost a whole week to watch.
Jesus Christ!
Fuck.
So, everything. This movie ends with, in my opinion, just everybody kind of killing themselves for no reason. In different ways of suicide. May didn't have to kill herself.
Fucking, I'm a junkie.
Right. Yeah. Old girl didn't have to stay there with her kid and get caught because that was dumb to stay so close.
We didn't
have to get burned.
I'm sorry, but what gets me, I'm like, why is it relevant that the police is relevant at the very end of the movie, where it just seemed like they weren't anything worthwhile throughout the rest of the movie? I'm thinking about that bar scene. I'm like, I know different states have different laws, but I'm like, dude, y'all literally went up into a fucking bar or a club and just shot people up.
Yeah.
With no repercussions.
No cops, no nothing.
Nobody didn't have to know that he killed homeboy.
Right. I think this time it's because he knew that the information was going to be given to good cops, so it was going to become news.
Well, that was his fault.
Yeah, he knew good cops.
He should have never got the cops involved.
Right, because there was a constant discussion about how bad the cops were. So I'm thinking it's just the cops that he knew they would follow through. They make sure it was on the Channel 9, 5 o'clock news. Gotta have it. So yeah, my final thoughts on this. I enjoyed this movie, but yeah, I don't really know if it's as meticulous as we think it is to get a movie pushed, guys, or to get a movie picked up. I just don't. I think you have to do one or two good things, and then once you get your opportunity to put something on the silver screen, it's kind of like free for all.
You know what? This is I'm raising some kind of weird conspiracy in my head, thinking about why HBO decided beyond COVID and everything about why the Warner Brothers really push for a lot of these movies to be on their streaming service. And I'm beginning to think a lot of these movies are just.
Oh no, this one's in theaters too, though.
Yeah, but ever since Wonder Woman '84, it's just these hybrids of what Warner Brothers are producing has been kind of honestly really shitty.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, we're only going to do this for a year, so that makes me. I got my feelings about the next Matrix, but it just makes me think that's just going to be another.
I mean, Space Jam is in the top 5 of the releases.
What?
Without question.
Oh,
That's
saying
HBO releases. That's saying a lot. But of the HBO releases, without question.
Yeah.
Space Jam's in the top 5.
I mean, and this is what I am thinking. That's a different thing. And that's just the nostalgia run, I think, that goes in with certain things. But just a movie like this, I'm putting this movie on a list along with shit like what's that shit called we seen with Denzel Washington?
Oh yeah, it's just slightly better than Little Things.
And the thing is, with those, these are like movies with people that evidently worked well together, and it seems like it was hyped up and just a hell of a drag.
And man, you ask for espresso, you can either get whipped cream or no whipped cream. That's pretty much it.
I don't know.
Like watered down espresso.
Yeah,
that's nasty.
Yeah, this movie not good. I mean, it could have been good. It could have been. I like some of the aspects. As I said, I like the concept of a sunken Miami is cool. I like Hugh Jackman. I just don't think he had anything to work with. An actress who played Elsa was flat. I don't know. She can't sing. I don't know why she was a singer. That was very bizarre to me, because I'm like, if you're telling me that this guy fell so hard in love that he became obsessed with her, like, actually represent that in some way. Because
she couldn't really sing, and that's just how he wanted it to be in his mind.
Yeah, maybe. There you go.
It was just one of those things where I think it wasn't even a thing about love. It was straight up obsession and lust. I'm like,
I guess so. Yeah.
Like, dude, that's the only piece of ass you could have got. Wait, what?
No, because Tandy Newton was throwing herself at him. Man. So, like, yeah. And the poor woman's like been by her side the entire time. Yeah. So there's no redeeming characters in this movie. And when you don't have redeeming characters, they're just kind of like, meh.
This movie just is.
And it isn't that good at being is.
Mm-hmm. In fact, if we cut Westworld right now at episode 3 where we are and not move on to the next one, it's better than this movie.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
100 times.
With all the loose ends. With all the loose ends is what I'm saying.
Right. At least there's loose ends. This has no loose ends.
This has no loose ends.
Oh, there was a loose end, all right.
Oh?
Go for it.
She was very loose.
Oh, gosh.
Get him.
Actual. You know what?
Damn,
was
Hugh.
good observation, sir.
Man, Hugh Jackman is like, who was he getting close to being married to? Anne Hathaway.
Really?
Yeah, they
No,
were.
Hugh Jackman's like married to a 60-year-old lady, dude.
Yeah, no. I mean, back then they were an item.
Mm.
They were an item like when Dark Knight Rises
crazy.
came
Like
out.
when she was like 19.
Pretty much.
I'm being funny, but I'm like,
You said Hugh dropped it because she was too much of a drama queen, supposedly.
I bet she was.
Mm-hmm.
I bet. You know what? The
My head hurts now.
The audacity.
I did it to myself.
You did. So, ratings, fellas. What do we think?
Yeah.
I have nothing special I pulled from this. There's no special like, oh, which scene did you like the most? Which memory was the craziest? Screw
Man, I'm giving this shit a 10. 10.5. This is outrageous.
If you're giving it a 10.5, then I know Nick and I have to give
I'm
it.
giving it a -10.
I mean, keep it equal. Like, what?
Yeah.
Hell no. There's all sorts of fucked up algebra coming our way.
Yeah.
Right? PEMDAS was not about to be a thing on this rating system.
Yeah, please ain't. I'm not excusing shit.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and get this out the way. And I'm kind of like, I really need to go back to some of my ratings and drop some of these things. Because this rating is only so high right now. Because there's no way I could put it under the little things. So I'm giving this a 5.5 off bat. I'm going to go ahead and get out y'all way. Go for it.
Would you give the little things?
Crazy. The little things is at a 2.8.
And I think I gave it a 5 flat.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Got it. All right. I will go next, I suppose. I like two things about this movie. The concept of a sunken Miami, like I've said for the millionth fucking time. and maybe I only like one thing about it. What was the other thing? Hold on. No, that's it. That's it. The one thing I like about it. So I have to give it a 1. There's one thing that I could say that I liked about it.
Goddamn.
You know what I just thought about? And I'm glad I wrote it in my notes. I wanted to change my rating for the little things, but I left it at 5 because of the actors that were in it. I'm not doing that.
I'm curious. What are you going to give it to it now?
Forever.
I'm curious. What are we going to change it to? If that's the case, man, I want to change my Mortal Kombat.
You can't go back and change it.
I can't change it. But I could change this. I'm not making the mistake twice. I'm really just looking at it. Like, I'm really looking at the little things rating. Like, this shit is too high, son. Like,
no, I'm curious, man. What are you going to change? Because I get that shit at 0.5.
Huh? Yeah, you gave it 0.5. Nick gave it a 3. I gave it a 5, which I'm like, I don't even know why I gave it a 5. That's too high. And I'm looking at this like a 5.5. No. Lowered mine to a 3.5 on this. This is a 3.
Oof. All right. 3.5 is fair.
Yeah, I think it's more than fair. It's probably a 3 flat.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I might still want to watch this twice one day when I've been drinking just to figure it out. But,
I drank when I watched this movie. I drank with a bowl of cookies and cream ice cream.
Nice. That's funny.
And I think the drink I was drinking was some shit from I don't know, some rapper. I forgot his name. I wanted to try his drink out. Okay, so it's me, huh?
Because T-Pain on the bottle.
No, with someone else. I'll tell you after this. Fuck, man, what do I want to give this shit? I guess I give it a 2.5.
0.5.
No, 2.5. Man, come on. 2.5 because you know what? It didn't piss me off like the little things. I was itching and shit. I felt like fucking Chris Tucker in Friday when he was on that Angel Dust.
Oh, wow.
With that, I was twitching and shit and all that. I had Tourette's that day. It took me too long to finish that movie. I was able to finish this in one sitting. Surprisingly, I took one break, but and I'm only giving it 2.5 because the concept was interesting for like the first 20 minutes before he became like this weird stalker, rapist dude to a point, and this obsessed dude. And it's because I like Hugh Jackman.
Mm-hmm.
Sweating, staring at the girl.
He's like, girl.
That is all right. Well, that brings us to a 7 out of 30, which my mind's eye is 4.2. Nick, help me out.
2.3.
2.3. See, look, I was way off.
2.3. It still did worse than The Little Things, guys. I don't know what we. I don't know how that happened.
I rated The Little Things too high. That's all. It was me.
Yeah,
I know how that's all.
true.
Hey, what would happen if I had gave it a 0?
That didn't deserve a 1 from me. But I gave it a 3. I remember too. I know I gave it a 3 for the actors. I gave it a 1 for originality, and then a 1 for something else.
Well, I think you were being too generous for sure.
Too generous. Yeah. But they spent a big budget, so I guess they bought me out a little bit too.
Yeah. So that's a 2.3 for Reminiscence. I think that goes without saying. You guys could skip this one. You could just listen to this, and it would probably be more entertaining listening to us tear it apart than watching this, to be honest.
Unless you ladies want to see Hugh Jackman without his shirt.
Which you can see in every other movie that he's been in.
Right. Like, you could play this back in. What's more entertaining is my regret for choosing another dud.
Dude, you're good.
Oh yeah,
you're good. You're doing a thing.
You're doing the necessary evil, which is that you're trying to bring in new stuff for us. It just so happens that all the new stuff is crap. So
Like,
so it's just one of those things.
The good stuff that we already know exists.
Right.
See,
exactly.
and that's the thing. You're definitely taking a bullet in the sense that you're cultivating us on getting out there and looking and reviewing and discussing the things that are not something we have underneath our belt, because we know what's good already in our own opinion. We know what's good to us, and we're just basically sharing it between us. But people want to know if this shit is worthwhile.
Right.
That's true. Exactly.
Wait till my next week. You guys ain't ready.
Is it killer season?
Oh, that'd be great. Oh, that'd be so fucking great, but it's not. I'm not gonna. Okay, can we? I will say this on air. I have had so many internal battles of like, yo, I could just go on a spree of like killer season and state
Don't
property.
do it. Don't. State property is good.
Like, nah, I was like, I can't do it because 1 or 2 of them are good, and like the other 7 are just for nostalgia points. It's no point. It's kind of like House Party. Like 1 is good, 2 you enjoy, 3 through 5 is like you just doing it because the name.
I don't know what you're talking about. 3 is okay. 3 closes up shit. 4 and 5 is just necessarily fucking unnecessary.
And Lord of the Rings is a good movie.
What are you insinuating?
Little Mike, you hear that? Are you here?
For the record, I've still never seen it, so I don't really mean any offense to anyone. So yeah, this has been the reminiscence. You guys really have to excuse me. This is one of those words that I didn't even know I couldn't say till today. But reminiscence, and it is again a movie made by Lisa Joy. 2021 PG-13, currently on HBO Max. You can also catch it in select theaters somewhere near you. We do not get paid for this. We simply enjoy it. So yeah, if you go and check that movie out. So yeah, if you go and check that movie out, you don't have to tell them that we sent you or anything like that. Just click the like button on this video, or maybe subscribe to one of our pages if you haven't done that already. Maybe you want to hear the XO Fathom, which comes on Mondays and Fridays, hosted by Nick, Ayla, and Mike. They have a lot of really cool things going on over there. Hey, Nick, what's your last episode about? I didn't catch you.
Yeah, our last episode was about... trances. We did an episode about trances, and this episode coming up tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. is going to be about human sacrifice.
Human sacrifice. Ooh, That's interesting. And if you're into video games, you can also check out Strawberries and Coffee. Strawberries and Coffee comes on Twitch Tuesdays and Thursdays. He goes on air. Dejan does somewhere between 10 and 10:15 for you, and then he reposts the videos to YouTube for you the next day after his live streams. There's also sporadic posts, so be sure to click the notifications and subscribe buttons over there on Twitch. Dejan, what are you currently playing right now?
I'm currently playing Marvel's Spider-Man because I'm all up for the hype after the Sony showcase.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And can I ask, is the Hugh Jackman video game part of the Sony showcase? Am I correct with that?
It's fucked up to say because I know people who love to see these on other consoles can't touch them unless they buy a fucking PlayStation. But yeah, Insomniac, the same people that was bought recently by Sony and who made the Spider-Man games and a couple other games, are exclusively having a new Wolverine game put on the PlayStation 5.
Oh man, I'm kind of excited for that. It wasn't much in that trailer, but the anticipation is there. But yeah, that's definitely something that you guys should definitely check out. Mostly because, hey, guys like me, I don't have a PlayStation, so I don't get to play these games. But watching Dejan play them,
Just watch me play it.
yeah, it helps. I never knew how interesting it was to watch someone else play a game, but you sir have definitely opened my eyes to that world. If you guys also want to check out one of our other shows called If Numbers Could Talk, that is hosted by me. I am Keelan, and my last episode was about the athletics prime age. You know, the athletic epoch. What is the point in time that people are making their mark, so to speak? And right before that, I did the kind of how injuries work, what injuries are most frequent. So that's kind of what I do over if numbers could talk. I correlate different things when it comes to sports, maybe the cars. Gonna try to get some other things going on out there. But I do if numbers could talk. That channel is on Facebook and YouTube as well. You can check me out on Tuesdays. I go on around 8:30 on Tuesdays. However, if you just want to come back here and hear us talk about, blather about, compare, and or just go on a tangent about different things that are movie related, TV related, or whatever it is that we're covering here on the Screen Time Continuum, you can come back and see us, listen to us, and hang with us on Wednesdays and Sundays at 8:30 p.m. And we appreciate you guys. So for the Screen Time Continuum, my name is Keelan.
I'm Nick.
I'm the mustard.
And I hope we do everything that you guys enjoy. And if we don't, just let us know in the comment section. Later on, guys.
Good night.